our coach, Coach Jude Martinez, to my classmates and schoolmates. Good day to all of you. So today we're going to tackle the 14 learner-centered psychological principle. The 14 learner-centered psychological principle, it has 4 categories, which are first, cognitive and metacognitive factors. Second, motivational and affective factors. Third, developmental and societal factors. Fourth, individual difference factors. Cognitive and metacognitive factors, it has 6 principles, which are first, nature of the learning process. Second, goals of the learning process. Third, construction of knowledge. Fourth, strategic thinking. Fifth, thinking about thinking. Sixth, context of learning. The motivational and emotional influences, it has 3 principles. So, first, motivational and emotional influences on learning. Second, intrinsic motivation to learn. Third, effects of motivation on effort. The developmental and societal factors, it has 2 principles, which is developmental and societal factors. Second, social influences on learning. So, and last categories is the individual difference factors. It has 3 principles. First, individual differences in learning. Second, learning and diversity. Third, standards and assessments. So, it has 14 principles in total. So, the first and second, third principle will explain by me. The fourth, fifth, and sixth explained by Jarha Pulalon. And then 7, 8, 9 will explained by Dunel D. Aficionado. 10, 11, 12, and 13 will be explained by Ginelyn A. Busico. And lastly, the 14th principle, it will explained by Nicole Jane Bacalso. So, let's start. So, when we say learner-centered, it is focused on the learner and the learning process or individuals learners. It focuses on learning the best available knowledge about learning and how it occurs, and about teaching practices that are most effective in promoting the highest levels of motivations, learning, and achievement for all the learners. That will focus, then informs and drives educational decision making. So, learner-centered is also related to the belief, characteristics, dispositions, and practices of the teachers, practices primarily centered by the teachers. So, when teachers and their practices functions from an understanding of the knowledge, they will include learners in decisions about how and what they learn and how that learning is assessed. Second, value each learner's unique perspectives. Third, respect and accommodate individual differences in learners' backgrounds, interests, abilities, and experiences. And last, treat learners as co-creators and partners in the teaching and learning process. So, this learner-centered psychological principles establish a framework for designing learning-centered practices at all levels of schooling, developing and incorporating the components of new designs for schoolings. These principles emphasize the active and reflective natures of learning and learners. So, let's proceed to the first principle, the nature of the learning process. The learning of complex subject matter is most effective when it is an intentional process of constructing meaning from informations and experiences. So, we all know that there are different types of learning process. Each individuals have different types of learning process. So, for example, is habit formation, and motor learning, and learning that involves the generations of knowledge or cognitive skills and learning strategies. So, we all know that learning is natural and it all exists to all human. It is also a process of obtaining knowledge through interactions, practice, and experiences. So, we all need is, in order for us to learn on how, we all need is attend our full attention, memory, language, in order for us to get the new information, new insights, and new experiences. So, learning is a process by which an individual acquire knowledge, attitudes, and skills that are necessary to meet the demands of individual life. So, that is the nature of learning process. In order for us to learn, there's a process and where we get our learning. So, second principle, it is the goals of the learning process. So, the successful learner over time and with support and instructional guidance can create meaningful, coherent representations of knowledge. So, it is a strategic nature of learning requires students to be goal directed, to construct useful representations of knowledge, and to acquire the thinking and learning strategies necessary for continued learning success. So, students must generate and pursue personally relevant goals. So it is deepening their understandings of the subject matter so they can reach longer terms of goals. So, personal learning goals are about improving students' learning and achievement and building students' capacity to learn. Because if they are goal-oriented, their focus of learning is directed to the goal they are implemented. In that way, it helps them to become independent learners and motivating them to achieve their full potential. And of course, educators can assist learners in creating meaningful learning goals that are consistent with both personal and educational aspirations and interests. So, let's proceed to the third principle, construction of knowledge. Construction of knowledge, the successful learner can link new information with existing knowledge and meaningful ways. So, knowledge widens and deepens as students continue to build links between new information and experiences and their existing knowledge. The nature of these links can take a variety of forms such as adding to, modifying, or reorganizing existing knowledge. So these links are made or develop students' talents, interests, and abilities. So, it also a process that happens through individual or social engagement. It happens by building on people's prior knowledge and experience by connecting the new knowledge, new information, new insights, and new experiences to the knowledge and concepts that they already know to produce new understanding or knowledge to generate ideas and understanding that are new to them. So, educators can assist learners in acquiring and integrating knowledge by a number of strategies that have been shown to be effective with learners of verifying abilities such as concept mapping and thematic organization or categorizing. So, that's all for today. And this is the end of my topic. So, the next reporter will explain the fourth, fifth, and sixth principles and so on.
Good day, Coach Jude, and also to my fellow classmates. Good day, everyone. By the way, I am Jarha Sapari Puladon, and I am taking a Bachelor of Technology and Livelihood Education major in ICT. So, my role in this video presentation is to explain what is strategic thinking, thinking about thinking, and context of learning. So right now, I will explain what is strategic thinking. So the strategic thinking, this is the successful learner can create and use a repertoire of thinking and reasoning strategies to achieve complex learning of goals. Successful learning use in their approach to learning, reasoning, problem solving, and concept of learning. Also, strategic thinking is defined as a mental or thinking process applied by an individual in the context of achieving a goal or a set of goals in a game or other endeavor. As a cognitive, it produces thoughts. Example of strategic thinking in our everyday life. Thinking process, like you go on a trip and pack the things you want, thinking ahead and assuming what you need to take in case of bad weather. So, here's the thinking about thinking. This is a successful learners can reflect on how they think and learn, set reasonable learning or performances goals, select potentially appropriate learning strategies or methods and monitor their progress toward these goals. Metacognition or thinking about thinking is the process or thinking about one's own thinking and learning. It is also thinking about how you think and learn. Here are some examples of thinking about thinking. A student learns about what things help him/her to remember facts, names, and events. So, let's go on a context of learning. The context of learning is influenced by environmental factors including culture, technology, and instructional practices. Context of learning, this is a situation that something learned or understood. It is also important for a student to be able to transfer a new knowledge and understanding. They have to have a grasp of how it can be used. There are some examples of context learning. The external learning, environment including the quality of equipment and facilities and the training level of the teacher.
Good day, Coach Jude and everyone. I am Dunel D. Aficionado, and this day I will gonna tackle the motivational and affective factor that is in the 14 learner-centered psychological principles. So the first is the motivational and emotional influences on learning. So this is the rich internal world of thoughts, belief, goals, and expectation for success or failure that can enhance or interfere with the learner's quality of thinking and information processing. So it also influences both the quality thinking and information processing as well as an individual's motivational to learn. Positive emotion such as curiosity generally enhance motivation and facilitate learning and performance. Example is if you are not motivated, it will interfere with your study, but if you are motivated, you will get creative, which it enhances our thinking and information processing. Next is intrinsic motivation to learn. Novelty and difficulty relevant to personal interests and providing for personal choice and control. Example is when we act without any obvious external rewards, we simply enjoy an activity or see it as an opportunity to learn, explore, and actualize ourselves. When you pursue an activity for the pure enjoyment of it, you are doing so because you are intrinsically motivated. Your motivation for engaging in the behavior arises entirely from within rather than out of a desire to gain some external rewards such as prizes, money, or acclaim. Of course, that isn't say that intrinsically motivated behaviors do not come with their own rewards. These rewards involve creating positive emotion within individual. So it means it's not about the external reward like money or the physical reward, but it is also the rewards that we talk about here is the internal rewards, which means like happiness and so on, like the emotions. The last but not the least is effect of motivation on effort. Effort is another major indicator of motivation to learn. The acquisition of complex knowledge and skills demands the investment of considerable learner energy and strategic effort, along with persistence over time. Motivated student is more creative and has a lot of energy and effort to do a task, whether it is hard or easy. Unlike the unmotivated student that will make the task with lackluster attitude and less effort.
Good day, classmates, especially to you, Coach Jude Martinez. Today, I am going to tackle my topic. First, the developmental social factors. Second, social influences on learning. Third, individual difference in learning. And fourth, learning and diversity. First topic is developmental and social factors. Social development refers to the process by which a child learns to interact with others around them. Social development most often refers to how a child develops friendships and other relationships, as well how a child handles conflict as well with peers. Second topic, social influences on learning. Learning is influenced by social interactions, interpersonal relations, and communication with others. So when we say social influences on learning, the process of a person's attitudes like opinions, beliefs, or behavior are altered or controlled by some form of social communication. It includes conformity and compliance. So social information plays an important role in learning by interacting with other people, and it is proven to be quite effective in assisting the learner to organize their thought, reflect on their understanding, and find gaps in their reasoning of social interactions. And learning variants can range from peer learning, reciprocal teaching, learning by teaching, learning by observation, learning by doing, and self-other monitoring. And third topic is individual differences in learning. Learners have different strategies, approaches, and capabilities for learning that are a function of prior experience and heredity. Individual differences can be defined as personal characteristics that distinguish learners from each other in the teaching and learning processes. This is also a unique characteristic of individuals that have an impact on how they learn. We all know that whatever lies around us is in the form of non-living or living beings differ from each other in so many respects. Human thoughts, we are a common species, differ in sizes, shapes, appearances, color, personality, and behavior. There are individual variations and differences found in ourselves. Fourth and lastly, learning and diversity.
Learning diversity refers to the infinite variety of life experiences and attributes a child brings to their formal learning at school. All students with diverse learning needs have a right to access full and engaging education on the same basis as their peers. We also value a collaborative approach to student learning and seek effective ways to meet the needs of all learners so that every student can experience success. That's all, and have a good day. Thank you.
Hi everyone, especially to Coach Jude Martires and to my fellow classmates. My name is Nicole Jane Bacalso. Today, I will discuss standard and assessment. Standard and assessment, setting appropriately high and challenging standard and assessing the learner and learning process, including diagnostic process and outcome assessment are integral part of the learning process. Why is assessment and standard is important in education? Some students hate that, but we have to let them realize that it's very important because that would tell a lot when it comes to the learning assessment must be used to help students know what fields learn more, how far did learn already, and you have to remember you have to set standard as well. Assessment must not very easy. If assessment is very easy, get perfect and complain. Why? Because you are not learning something because the assessment is very easy. If it is hard, you complain because you amend it. An ideal assessment must be step up of ahead the current level of the students. If it is hard to them to would be out of the Excel and to advance, it should be one step of ahead of the current level learning. That is standard and assessment. Thank you.
So, as of our conclusion in this topic, the learner-centered psychological principles, we understand that these learner-centered psychological principles, it has a big impact to the learners and to their learning. For example, it helps them to develop and promote students' motivations and learning. It helps students to develop skills that will better equip them for their professional career in the future. And as of the teachers can be trained in the approach so they can apply the principles and provide their students with a better experience. So that's all that we can say and understand the learner-centered psychological principles. It has really a big help to all the students, not just the students but also the teachers, because it helps them create a framework for individuals learner to have a better schooling and learning. So, and that's all for today, and goodbye. God bless you all.